Okay, we are now recording the March 8th, 2019 Small Business Accounting Advisors. Hello, everyone.
Happy Friday.
Hello.
Happy Friday. I still have snow. That's why I have my frame as snow. It's snowing outside here as we speak.
We had some yesterday morning, unfortunately.
Oh,
We finally have some warmth.
snow. Yeah. Ernest.
Finally.
And we have the time change this weekend.
Yeah, an hour ahead, less sleep.
I'll lose an hour during our busy tax season. Just what we need. Thank you.
You guys have it up there too, Gina?
Yes, yes. Most places do, except I
Arizona.
Arizona.
No, Ohio does not.
Oh,
So
really?
people that are on the western.
I've always thought it would be great not to have it, but I don't know, I'm a creature of habit that I'm so used to it now, know?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter to me. I'm still working one way or the other. Whether it's late out at 6 o'clock or it's dark out at 6 o'clock, I'm still behind the computer doing something. So I won't see the light of day until after April 15th. Doesn't matter what the time saver does or daylight savings time. But there is, Ohio actually does not do it. So in the summertime, people that live on the western edge of Pennsylvania and work in Ohio, so they leave their house at 6 o'clock and they get to work.
That's crazy.
What, do you have like
5:30.
you have like 2 watches or something, or what? You have to change your time as you cross the.
Right.
Jeez.
Talk about
Well, I guess that's like that anywhere there's a division.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Exactly. So it should be consistent, but apparently it's not up to us, and they didn't ask us, so sorry for the people that have to deal with it.
Well, I just love having friends on the West Coast because I'm a night owl. So when I start working after 5, you guys are still working.
Yep.
But just the East to West Coast thing was fine because we've got partners in Florida and New York and then we've got people over in California, and that was great until Andrea Rockford joined, who's over in Trinidad, who's 3 hours ahead of me.
Time traveling, yeah. What do you do with that? It's 8 o'clock here, but 6 o'clock there.
Welcome to my world, Brandon. Everybody's 3 hours ahead of me.
Well, now I've got 2 hours behind me and 3 hours ahead of me.
Nice.
It's a long day, right? It's like
Right?
So Lynda Russell, are you with us, or did you step away from your screen for a minute? She was going to talk to us about QB Power Hour. We'll come back to that. How many people saw Mariette's real estate webinar?
No, I didn't see it. I maybe should have. I've been turning down real estate because I don't like to do real estate bookkeeping.
Well,
I used to do it, and I just don't enjoy it.
she did it for the regular person. She did not do it for other accounting professionals.
Oh, okay.
And I loved her presentation. Well, first of all, the energy that Mariette has and brings to anything.
Oh, yeah. She's awesome.
Is amazing.
Yep.
And she presented it really, really well. Here is what you're required to do. Here's what you should do. Well, you could do it this way if you really wanted to, but a better way to do it would be. So, yeah.
I wonder if she has a recording.
She
Yes.
probably does. She probably does.
If you were on the webinar, they sent us a link. I can send it to you if you want.
Yeah. Send it to me, Dennis, please.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, kudos to Mariette. She did a wonderful job. So, Lynda Russell,
Yes,
QB Power Hour.
yes.
Happening?
Michelle Long, who's been doing it for many years with Hector Garcia, did it yesterday, and she had Dan DeLong on, who has been a long time diamond support person at Intuit, and he left there and he has become self-employed, and he now has a company called Danwit, and she's going to be working with Dan DeLong for the next month or two through March. Every other week they're going to be doing, but they're going to change the name of it, but it basically is going to be just this similar, and then Hector's going to be doing something too with a slightly different name. So it's like just continuing under a different name, and they're both going to be separate, but they're going to make sure there's something every 2 weeks. I think is kind of wonderful. And I kind of followed up Lynda Artisani's in the chat. I thanked Michelle for all she had given over the years and all she was still giving. And she read that out on the show. So it will be on the recording. And so it's really kind of nice. And somewhere I went online on Facebook last night, and I put another remark, a comment, and it must have been 2 in the morning where Michelle was, unless she's out here, because it was like 11 o'clock here. And she said, thank you. So it's really nice to see that it is continuing. They really enjoy giving back to the community, and that makes it so much easier for those of us just starting out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree 100% with everything that you said.
Right. So Michelle actually said that what she was doing was posting yesterday's webinar on her Michelle Long YouTube channel. So if anybody wants to go see it, just go to Michelle Long on the YouTube channel and it'll be there.
It was a good episode.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it was a good episode.
I think everybody should go to everyone's YouTube channel and subscribe.
Yes, we should do that.
Yeah, our subscriber list up.
I think she has a website, Long for Success, right?
Yes. Yes. She told the story about where she got her name too. She said actually Intuit was the one that gave her that name. And she wasn't thrilled with it at first, but the more she used it, the more she liked it. And now she's really, enjoying that name. And I've always thought it was a cool name.
Yes.
Her name is Long and her business is Long for Success.
Yes. She said how her business had changed, had transformed over the years. And she used to do taxes. She doesn't do taxes anymore. And of course, she used to be a big QuickBooks desktop expert. And she really hesitated to go to online, but she went over there and she's just done amazing stuff with QuickBooks Online. And she loves it now. And I believe all of her customers and that are with that. Plus she likes traveling and teaching. And so she's doing more of that as well. So. And I think that's one of the things we all see is that as we're working, we get better and better in tune with who we are, what our gifts are, and what our drawbacks are. And so then we know better who our favorite client is, our favorite customer, and we're better able to target them and become a niche that has more power and,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
serve our customers a lot better.
I just become an itch, not a niche.
That's Brandon.
What's that?
And you've been just getting new member after new member after new member, Brandon.
That's right.
Yeah, we're up to 53 now.
Wow.
And we got some key players now too.
Some major key players, yeah.
Look at this room. I mean, this says it all. These are the cool kids.
Yeah.
I noticed that we all have similar values and styles. We all have a really good sense of humor. I noticed that people that don't have a similar sense of humor, they'll come on for a while, but they kind of just drop off. And it's like we really get along well, so it's really nice. And this is part of when I present my packages to people, I actually present, they're not just hiring me, they are hiring all 9 of us, okay? And so if I get something I'm stuck on, I just Friday afternoon, I'm here and I get the answer for them, and it's really kind of neat. So.
Well, I definitely do that. I sell my network. If I don't know the answer, I've got somebody in our network does.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's a nice feeling.
Yeah, great feeling.
Didn't used to always be that way.
So when I went on my own in '88, and I went from being with a huge firm, and we'd do happy hours, and if you had a question, you grab somebody in the hallway. You always had that camaraderie and somebody to go to bounce things off of or ask questions. And then all of a sudden, it was me.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so it's wonderful.
So it's wonderful to have everybody. Yes, I agree. So speaking of us and our Zoom meetings, Lynda Artisani and I learned something before this meeting.
No.
Last meeting, we talked about contacts and adding contacts to Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
And we created our SBAA group. And Lynda started early.
It was 5:03.
5:03, okay. And called everybody.
I clicked and called everybody from my own phone.
Started our own Zoom meeting.
Wow.
We had 2 Zoom meetings.
Oops. Seth actually came on and kind of was like, what the heck is going on? He was very confused. I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. I thought I was joining your meeting. And I voted all the people that were on the meeting off. Because you got out of there and answered my call.
Because I thought what I was doing was inviting you to this meeting. Like the phone rang, yeah, come on in. I thought it would be a lot easier, but no, it booted me off. And
So we blame Matthew.
Matthew called me with a Zoom today.
Keep him muted.
I've never been called on a Zoom before. So somebody gives me the link, I go to it. But yeah.
I like the call on a Zoom. I really do. I like the ability to just push a button and all of a sudden you're connected. That's really great.
Unless you're in your pajamas and somebody calls you from a bookkeeper's meeting.
I don't worry about that because my little picture stays closed until I want to see them.
I answered. I just figured it was him, and he's at a table with a bunch of ladies, and this is my friend. And I'm like, oh, my T-Bank T-shirt.
That's funny.
So that's the importance of having one of those covers over your cam.
Yeah, that's true. Even Clutch Up couldn't help last night.
I doubt that, but I get it.
So we'll have to check that out. I've tried to find the phone number that the group has created. It would be great if we could do, like Matt said, pin a number, a Zoom number to that group so it always comes to this, but I'm not seeing a way to do that.
I think you'd have to, and then if you don't call first, you're actually going to call people if you hit it like I did. You don't want to do that because people could be working if they don't have it off.
Right.
People work. I thought everybody was just hanging out all day.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we do get a chance to decide whether it's a private or a public channel.
Oh, that's cool.
So is yours a private one, Gina?
Yes.
Okay.
This is private. Yes. This is private because I don't announce it anywhere except on our group. But when I do publish it, I'm publishing it under YouTube so people can watch, but they don't get to join. The only people that join are the people that we invite and we want in.
Right.
And then you can share it and tell them if they want to come, they can join your group and come through the proper channels. And that way people can see what we're doing and maybe join in, which is nice.
Hey, Gina, do you get commissions from your YouTube?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm not high enough. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if some of you know, but one of the things I've been pursuing is oil painting, plein air outdoors. It's always been something that I've always wanted to do, and I used to do when I was younger. So I've met a whole different new community with oil painters.
Nice.
And a lot of them are young, some are old. And the young ones are the ones that are really thriving because they understand the power of social media. I'm also an art collector, and some of the paintings I've collected were people that I have seen their work on Instagram or YouTube.
Nice.
And it's pretty interesting because one of my friends that I have befriended, he's very young, and he's got, I think, like 300,000, which isn't really a lot because I know people that have over 1 million. But there's people out there that make like at least $1,000 just off the letting people advertise on their thing.
Is this on Instagram?
On Instagram. I bet Seth, he can tell you. I think he's got quite a bit of followers on YouTube, Seth. Yeah, but I didn't realize that. But yeah, they get, I know someone that makes a living just off YouTube.
Without having to work. Wow.
Yep. Just people following her around.
A lot of followers
life.
and a lot of view time to make
Passive income. Passive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the lady I'm working with in the mentoring program at QuickBooks QB Community Live is working with artists. She's an artist, and she's working with artists, and she's not on Instagram or Pinterest yet, but she's on
Instagram.
Facebook, and she's been getting. Yeah, that's what I told her. I said, you really ought to start to target, because it's such a visual platform, Instagram. So it would be a good way to, plus she gets the lingo and all that.
The new niche I'm trying to get into is co-ops, artist co-ops.
Oh, really?
That's my new client. I am having so much fun. It's the first for-profit that I've picked up in a long time. But you're right. So I joined their Facebook page and everything, and there's 32 artists, everywhere from young to 80 in their 80s, and it's amazing to see the ones that are just really into the social media. And then
Brandon left.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon left.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot going over to the artist side because I've always had that in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked up a book. Eric Rhodes is the name of the author, and he's like very wealthy. He started the plein air groups in the US and now is international. He's a speaker. He's the publisher of the Plein Air magazine and also the Fine Art Connoisseur magazine. He's incredible. He wrote this book, and I bought it, How to Make Money Selling Your Art. And I felt like this book could be applied to any business. It's an incredible book. It really spoke to me because number one thing he talks about is whatever you do in your life, be passionate. Go through, follow your dreams. It's never too late, because he started painting probably when he was 40 or 50. His wife, he always wanted to learn how to paint. And this guy owned radio stations, okay? He's had different types of businesses, been very successful with some of them not. But he always wanted to paint, and for his birthday, his wife bought him art lessons to learn how to paint. And he said he walked into and he's starting the book like this, and I could so relate to so many things because also I'm in my 50s, I'm turned 57 yesterday. So I keep thinking about, it's never too late. I've raised my daughter to believe that you can have anything in life as long as you work for it and do what you love, because there's nothing worse than waking up and dreading to go to work. I've been there. No. Years ago when I used to work in the mortgage industry, I hated it. Even though I was like top auditor, paid all kinds of money, I hated waking up and going into my office. Such a horrible, I'm not meant to be caged in an office. It's just not me, So he talks about it, and he said that when he walked into this room, he immediately turned around, and the teacher said, "Where are you going?" And so anyways, it started with that. And he said he's even taught his children to go after their dreams, And so he started the plein air movement in our country.
Say that.
International.
I'm hearing clean air.
Plein air. It's Plein air, AIR. And it's actually a French word meaning painting outdoors.
Oh, nice.
And it's just, I love being outdoors. It's like when I go on a walk. Okay, one thing, if you guys know me, I love God. Okay, God is very important to me. And that's where I feel God a lot, is through nature.
Yeah.
And I feel at peace. And to me, when I go, I used to think going on my walks thinking, oh gosh, if I could paint this beauty, because where I live, it's beautiful. You could go anywhere, Georgia, Southern California, there's beauty everywhere. And to paint that to me is so gratifying, you know? So I've kind of am taking, I've also learned in this book that if something doesn't feel good to you and you feel like you're dead inside, reinvent yourself. I mean, this book, I mean, for me, I'm a business person too. And I kind of wrote a little email to Eric because I kind of, you know, have him on his newsletter. I'm a member of his group and stuff. So I told him, I said, you know, this book, I have an accounting business, you know, bookkeeping business. This is for anybody. You know, there are some parts that are specifically to art, but he talks also about how some artists become very well known and their work, every gallery wants them because they're in demand. And he knew somebody that was very much in demand and it was all over social media. And one day she stopped doing the social media. Well, guess what? Galleries weren't wanting her work because people weren't seeing her there in social media. So a lot of it now is done through social media, you know, and she wasn't marketing, no more ads or anything, even though her art was beautiful. And so it was like death. And I could kind of relate to that because I used to be posting a lot like 3-4 years ago for our industry. I mean, I remember going to QuickBooks Connect and people, hey, you're the posting girl, you know, and all kinds of things, because personally, it's hard for me because I'm on the computer all day long with the kind of work we do. And there's this other side to me where I want to be outdoors.
So the last thing you want to do is get back on the computer and do social media. Yeah.
And I have my daughter, you know, we do things, we travel, we go places. And so I let it go. And I realized I still get business because of the people I know, but it's different now. And there's so much truth to that, out of sight, out of mind, you know? And so everything I'm learning from this book, I mean, I read it from front to back. I love this book. I could so relate in any kind of business. And
you'll have to put the name of the book and his name in the chat so we can Google it and check
and
it
it's
out.
just interesting because, you know, he says it's also very important to socialize, no matter what you do, to have your group of friends everywhere, you know. And I thought about how we've talked about this kind of thing before, like how you guys meet up with each other somewhere every now and then. But it's just, I wanted to share that with you guys because that book woke me up.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Share the name of it.
Yes, I'll put a little clip on here.
And we'll look for it and give it a little kudo for you if we decide we're going to get it.
I'd like to just tag onto that a little bit. The Landmark Forum and the Landmark Worldwide Education is experiential of what she's talking about in that book, about reinventing yourself and actually kind of clearing out what's there so you've got an empty space to work in so that you can start again, because a lot of us have everything, we've already filled up everything. So we have to kind of take some things and set them aside, get an empty space to reinvent in. So, and if anybody prefers to do it in practice as opposed to in book form, everybody learns differently. Try Landmark Forum.
That works too. Now
I got to say, I appreciated Yvette's story also. It's good to hear about the work-life balance issues and also, you know, a little bit with the spiritual life too. Yep. It's really important.
Brandon's back with us. He had to get in his car. He couldn't stay in the office. We had to get on the road.
Well, at least he doesn't have to try to get away from the Mardi Gras parades anymore.
That's right. I'm going to have my fish dinner and take a weekend.
There you go. Love your shirt too.
Oh, thanks. Oh, I heard an interesting conversation the other day about work-life balance, that there's really no such thing. It's all about work-life integration, that there's really, for those of us that have to work, and we do it a lot, it's really integrating life into work and not trying to balance it out.
Well, if you do what Yvette said and enjoy your work, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
That's
as a
right.
matter of fact, he talks about that at the end. He says that even though he's a multimillionaire, Eric Rhodes, he says he'll probably never retire because he loves what he does. He really does. He said, and everything is mindset. He even talked about, because I even find myself now that I'm in my mid-50s, oh, I'm getting old. I forget this. I'm getting old. And he says, don't say that.
No.
Try not to think like that. And so maybe this book might not talk to someone that's young, but I actually have recommended this to some of my friends that are really climbing up in the art world, that are young, in their 20s. And one of the gals that I gave it to, she just is eating it up, because there's so much. He also is, he's marketing man too. His magazines, people pay big money to advertise in his magazines for art, But it's just, I've learned so much, and it made me, I've always known in my heart that it's never too late to follow your dream.
Absolutely.
And you just gotta, like anything, you gotta hone in your skill every day. Even if it's 20, 30 minutes, it's just like us when we're doing work, we have to be doing it every day to get better and better, and always feeding our minds and learning. Every year I have to take so many CPE credits to renew my license, but you just have to.
Well, I heard the saying, the grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah. Hey, I like that, Gina. I've never heard that one.
And I think that's true.
I find it very interesting, Yvette, that with my art gallery, the treasurer is a CPA. So she's right in the middle of, busy season and tax season and everything. And I went, isn't that like both sides of your brain?
I was thinking that.
I know.
It's pretty rare to find somebody who's an artist and an accountant.
Yeah, people think that artists don't have, or the other way around, accountants or bookkeepers, they don't have that side, but they do. I am one of them, okay? And I've realized too that a lot of my friends think I'm a social person, but I'm like a social introvert, because everything I do is basically alone. Like the three things that I love to do, of course, is bookkeeping, I love to paint, and I love gardening. Well, hello, it's all by myself. So, and you have to sometimes just step out of all that. And I just realized that, so what if I'm in my mid-50s? I am still going to go after that other part of my life, and I've raised Julia, she wants to be a writer. You can do it, baby,
Nice.
You got to work hard and follow your dream. So I hope you guys look at this book, because even when he starts it, it's very interesting.
I'll put it up now that you've put it in chat. I'll put it up when I air this video.
Maybe I'll drop one off at my my new gallery.
There you go.
Yeah, you should. And they know Eric Rhodes. He does the plein air conventions. The plein air convention this year is in San Francisco, which is just 40 minutes from me. But those conventions are very expensive. They're like $1,200 just to get a ticket to go in there.
And we thought our accounting things were.
I know.
When I was working for WAMU, there was a woman that had an interesting expression called it bliss hits, doing things that gave you bliss, little things. And last year I decided to really start doing something different in terms of where I spend my time on. And not many people know it, but I speak 3-4 languages.
Wow.
And so at different levels, I speak French at advanced, German intermediate, and Spanish maybe beginner to intermediate. And what I like to do, at the end of the day, is go on YouTube and watch videos in those languages and read the subtitles in those languages rather than English subtitles. And it kind of gives me a chance to use another side of my brain.
Nice.
My degree is not in accounting, it's in history, so I'm not exactly your typical accountant.
I don't think any of us here are, Dennis. I think
Yeah.
we're all very special in our own way. So I'm going to end this. I think, Larry, we're going to talk about received a scam call. Larry?
Okay, sure. A few days ago, the phone rings. My cell phone rings, and I get this strange number. And I don't know, for some reason, I said, oh, I'm not going to answer that. I'll let it go to voicemail. The gentleman comes on, and he says, I just want to tell you your Social Security account has been suspended. We found criminal activity on it, and if you need to get something done, call me back at this number. Well, the number he left was like a Florida number, and it was like, you know, one of the retirement communities down around there.
Dead giveaway, you know?
Did he have a foreign accent?
No, he was, you know, but
He was predicting the future.
oh boy. And of course, you know, the IRS and everybody else have been warning people not to go for this stuff, but sure enough, they're out there.
They have our cell numbers.
Yeah, the only thing that bothers me is I don't know whether it was a targeted call or whether it was a random. You know, they got those machines.
I've heard all kinds of different things about, oh, you don't want to make them mad because then they'll really come after you, or, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I got the Pixel phone, so it came up with a little thing. If you want to, somehow it senses some of these calls might be not too good, and it's got a little button here if you want to block that number, which I did. But
Awesome.
you know,
Well, you know what my newest thing is with these scam, have you been saved?
I haven't gotten one of those.
No. If someone calls me to scam me, that's what I ask them.
Oh, you asked them. Yeah.
hey, that's really good. I think
That's awesome,
that's
Gina. I'm going to use
terrific.
that.
Have you found the Lord in your life?
That's perfect.
Hey, and
That's
I get so
accurate
many
what I do.
spam
I
calls.
didn't want to pick that up.
I get so many of those calls, you know, every day I get like 5 phone calls, you know, either about Google listing or
Google listing. Stop.
oh my gosh, you get them too?
Yes. Every line.
Yeah.
Every line.
And one of my friends was telling me that there's a number that you can call that will block those immediately. They like go through this thing. She said she did it on her phone and she doesn't get that many anymore.
I'm
So
going to have to look into that.
yeah.
Oh, insurance agents, yeah.
I've kind of got to the point where I don't answer the phone. I don't answer phone calls if it doesn't have call, ID on it, or if somebody I don't know.
That's the way
Otherwise,
I've been getting to.
I just stop answering, and I figure if it's important, they'll call me back.
But it depends on how busy I am and how much I need relief. If I need a little bit of stress relief, I look at that as a way to play.
Yeah, I like to screw with them big time.
Have you seen those videos on
Especially
YouTube?
the Microsoft ones. You have something wrong with your computer. I do? Didn't we fix it yesterday? You call every other day. Can't you get this?
I don't even own a computer.
Yeah. Really? I have a Mac.
Have fun with it, Why not?
But you know what? I like your idea better because sometimes I just get irritated with them. I just, you're going to rot in hell. I hope you don't believe in an afterlife because you're rotting in hell. But your way's better. It's more positive. Mine's negative. Yours, I need to switch.
Well, we're going to end on that note today. We'll see you all same time, same place next week.
Have a nice weekend.
Everybody.